Okay, my name is Steve Brown. I'm the CEO of Beacon House. I've been here now for 4 years. Beacon House is a homeless charity that's been in Colchester now for almost 28 years, 28 years in March. And we have one purpose, and that's to transform lives. Take people from wherever they are, whatever stuck looks like to them, and that will be different for each person, through to self-fulfilled independent living. That's the goal. There's various ways that you try and do that, but that is the goal.
Lovely.
So Beacon House was originally a drop-in centre. So Eld Lane Baptist, some of the people, the Christian people at Eld Lane Baptist recognised there are a lot of lonely people just hanging around outside the church. So they formed a drop-in centre, which is still going now, called Open Door. And after a couple of years, they realised actually there was a serious homelessness problem in Colchester. So they set up a specific charity, which was then actually called Open Door Ministries, and later became Beacon House Ministries. So yeah, it was just a response of those people at Colchester Baptist Church to a need they saw. I think purely to be a beacon of light. As I said, it was formed, it's a Christian charity, came out of a church, and I think it was just to be a beacon of light, practical expression of God's love in the community.
Yeah, I think that is reflected on your logo as well.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I came here just before COVID, so I came here on January the 13th, 2020. About 6 weeks later, we had to shut down to a degree because of COVID. We never actually stopped doing what we were doing, but we had to do some of it through the windows rather than people inside. So I've been here just over 4 years now.
And how was that doing this charity throughout COVID?
It was different. I mean, people have often asked me, that must have been a massive challenge. But my previous role as commercial director was managing change. So for me, it was a question of managing change. I don't mean that in any kind of clever way, but it wasn't maybe quite as daunting as it might have been had I been here doing the same thing for quite a long time. Yet we had to modify what we did and how we did it, but we were determined to keep on serving the community we're seeking to serve.
Yeah.
But it did mean there was times we couldn't have people inside, or we were limited to how many people we had inside. So for quite a long time we were doing it through the windows on Balkan Hill here.
Oh wow.
So we were doing food and drink through one window, we were doing medical stuff through another window, and through the third window we were doing applications for whatever it happened to be. So that was challenging.
Yeah.
We're all gowned and masked and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But we never stopped doing what we do. We do all the basics. So most homeless charities would do food and drink. So we try and do nutritious food and drink throughout the day. So people can come in here for a breakfast. They can come in here and have a hot lunch. We don't do clothing anymore because we were doing clothing and Sally Army were also doing clothing, and it seemed a bit crazy for us both to be doing stocking sorting, so we gave all our clothing to them. We do have emergency packs, so if someone comes in soaking wet and cold, or maybe they've had an accident, we have emergency clothing. So we do all that sort of basic stuff. Where we are a bit different, we have a full medical centre, so I have 2 nurses and 2 clinics. I have an occupational therapy team, so we do OT with guys. I have a housing team of 2 people whose job is to find out the best housing that we can find for people and facilitate that. So pretty well it's a one-stop shop. But we're not an island. We can't do what we do on our own. Our goal will always remain the same, is to transform lives. And that would different, as I said right at the beginning, that will be different for different people. The methodology will be different. But we want to take them from where they are to self-fulfilled independent living. When they get there, we don't just bin them, if you like. We don't just cut it off and say, right, you've got your house now. So we have afternoon sessions that are for people who are already housed, because we recognise that people might struggle with it and need help. And if they do struggle with it, they can come back and talk to us again. So that will be the goal hasn't changed. The goal hasn't changed. Well, obviously it's very important to those people who find themselves homeless. And the kind of stereotypical homeless person, which some people think, they're all alcoholics, they're all drug addicts, is complete garbage, to be honest. Most people who have an alcohol problem and a drink problem when they're homeless, they got it after they became homeless. It was a way of coping. Because if you're on the streets and no one likes you, we get people coming into the clinic here who've just been beaten up because someone sees them as trash. So they decided to kick their head in for the fun of it. It's obviously important to the community as well, because people don't like to see people begging on the streets. They don't like to see people So, and it also keeps the cost down, because the cost of, if nothing is done, quite often these people will end up in A&E, or they'll end up in the police station, in a police cell. So there's a significant benefit to the community, and that's why we try and engage the community as much as we possibly can, by making sure that what we put on the website is current and relevant and meaningful. We encourage people to come down and have a look, because, you know, as you said this morning, a lot of people just don't know we exist.
Yeah.
And we need people to know we exist, understand why we exist, and if possible, support us in whatever way they can. Let me give you the kind of annual figures, because the days can vary tremendously.
Yeah.
In a normal year, we have about 450 different individuals who will visit the charity, of whom between 200 and 250 will be new every year. That splits pretty closely 80-20 male to female. Sometimes it's a bit closer to 70-30. And in terms of the age demographic, I would have said, if you'd asked me this 2 years ago, I'd said 25 to 45 is the main demographic. Sadly, we're seeing quite a lot of younger people, and also we're seeing quite a lot of older people. But in most cases, the reason for them being homeless is the same. It's a relationship breakdown of some description. I've yet to see someone who's come here because they can't pay the rent. People are sometimes here because they don't pay the rent, because they spend the money on the wrong things. We didn't get what we thought after furlough and COVID. We thought there'd be a lot of people out of jobs. We haven't seen that. It's 95% will be relationship breakdown.
Wow.
The lives that it changes. We you know, what we've changed our methodology a little bit. There was a point where I think the Beacon House was very much strong on the heart side and not very strong on the challenge side. So people would come in, they'd get things, they'd come in the next day and get the same things. They might have traded them on the street that night. So we're much more about engagement. I'll give you a really silly example. We do quite a lot of we have laundry here, so we have 4 washing machines, 4 tumble dryers. It used to be people brought their clothing in, they wrote down what it was, we would wash them, we would dry them, we would fold them, we would put them in a bag, and they'd collect them the next day. That's never going to happen in the real world. They're not going to walk out of here when they get their accommodation, go to a laundrette and say, there's 20 quid, mate, see you in the morning.
Yeah.
So how does that help them? So now we show them how to use the washing machine and the tumble dryer. Same with the showers. We say, have a shower, and then we'll clean it. Well, who's going to clean their shower at home?
Right.
So we're very strong in engagement. What we basically say is, we will walk any road with anybody, we will not walk it for you. And that makes a significant difference in their lives.
Yeah, I bet.
Several ways, really. Volunteering is always a good way. We're always looking for volunteers, and that can be short-term, long-term, one day, more than one day. There's lots of areas. You know, as I said, we've got occupational therapy, we've got the medical side, we've got the whole front of house, which is whatever that includes, cafe, working with people. One of the greatest things is just talking to people. A lot of people don't. No one's given them time. No one gives them time. And one of the most important things to do is just sit out and listen to them.
Yeah.
So volunteering is one area. Supporting financially is another area. So that would be the main two. Because we can end up sometimes with loads of stuff. We're overstocked on certain things and understocked on others. We tend to use Facebook and our website to say what actually we need. So yes, people can donate. You know, things like, give an example, sleeping bags. Sometimes we used to be given those great big heavy sleeping bags. People are never going to carry them around, so we say, you know, sleeping bags are fantastic if they're lightweight and in a bag. Tents, you know, a 4-man tent with wooden poles is not going to be any use to a homeless person, so pop-up tents that go in a bag.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're being a bit fussy. We're not. We're just being practical. What is how are they going to be used, and will they be used? So we love to get donations, but we kind of make it clear what it is we need at any given point in time. Your past does not define your future, and there's always hope.
Wow. Well, that's brilliant. That's all of it.
Okay, thank you very much.